sorry, you guys. I got disconnected. How do you do that on a cell phone? Get disconnected. They get, okay, here's consequences to not getting your children. Here are consequences for not making your children responsible at early ages. They get suspended often at school. They don't respect anyone. Teachers, coaches, adults, period. They don't have any respect. They can't keep their little jobs that they get, like, for instance, sweeping the barbershop and so forth, even at the early ages. They get relationship issues early on. There's always fighting. He say, she say, a lot of messiness going on. Entitlements. If they break something, they want you to get it fixed, even though they broke it and they were careless in what you purchased them. They feel like everyone owes them something. And they love to bring you their problems. Yes, they're your children. Yes, you're supposed to nurture them. Yes, you're supposed to provide for them. But are you supposed to take on all of their problems? I don't know if you've read the book, Don't Put the Monkey on Your Back If the Monkey Doesn't Belong to You. Can you imagine a teenager bringing you every issue they have and you solving every problem that they have? Then you're not teaching your child, your young adult, to become an adult. If you take on all of their problems and you own those problems at that point, instead of helping them learn to create solutions to their problems. And you have to do this early on. If you don't, there are going to be some problems. Entitlement, remember, if they break something, show them that they have to be responsible as far as getting it replaced, using their own money to get it replaced. But if you keep getting it replaced, they will continue to break it because they will see no consequences in taking care of their belongings, and their expensive belongings, mind you. So, guess what? As an adult, if you don't make sure your child is involved in all of those items that I mentioned, and primarily, please make sure they go to church. Make sure they have a church home. You can just drop them off if you don't want to go. That churches will gladly take your kids. Trust me. They want the kids off the streets. So if you don't do those things, this is what happens. They don't have any stability. They don't know how to be problem solvers. They won't know how to manage money. They won't be able to keep a job. They will need to stay home with you. And if they stay home with you, they will never, hey, John, hey, Melvin. If they stay home with you, they will never be able to leave and be the citizens, the productive citizens that we call ourselves. If you want the same from your children, you have to make sure they grow up to be a productive citizen. If you shower them with gifts, don't shower them with chores. Don't have them growing up in a godly home or godly church. You're setting yourself up for your child to be homeless. And worst of that, when they have to stay with you because they can't keep a job as an adult, 20-year-old, 22, 23, 24, they end up, and you kick them out because you're mad. You're tired of them, but you created this monster. Guess where that person goes? To a girlfriend or to a boyfriend's home. Guess what, though? There's a cycle that begins. They eventually get tired of your child. Guess what they do? They kick them out. Then that child finds another girlfriend, a boyfriend they can shack up with for a while. Or they may even marry because that person sees potential, because they see the parents. But they don't see the fact that the parents spoiled that kid rotten, where that kid has no responsibilities. And now that kid is a young adult and he doesn't know what to do. Or she doesn't know what to do. Well, they get into these families with other people where they marry them, or they move in with them. It's a vicious cycle. These people eventually have to kick them out. And guess what? If they continue to get kicked out so many times and nobody's receiving them, nobody's taking them in, they become homeless. And all this could be avoided if we did a better job raising our children, making sure that they are responsible kids, that you teach them to be respectful to others, that you don't protect them when the teachers call your house and say your kid has been misbehaving, and you make them do their own homework, and you don't replace the iPad that they broke because they didn't keep the case on it. If you do all these things and stay on them until they are adults, don't lighten up. I surrender. I was slipping because I'm 55 and my baby is 12 and my oldest is 35. I was in a chill mode because this kid was so disciplined on his own. He's got an old soul. But it hit me last night. Oh no, I gotta raise that bar like I did with the other three, or I'm gonna lose him. So I just wanted to put that out there. Hey, Jeremy Barbie. I didn't want to keep you. I just wanted to share with you. If you got people in your lives that have little kids and you see that they're being spoiled, ask them, do you want to make your child a homeless adult? Because that's what's going on now. It is a vicious cycle. And it's all, in my opinion, it's the parents' fault. Because we have loved on them so much that we have forgotten that to really love them, we have to prepare them to be productive citizens. Because at some point, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to die. You hear that? We are going to leave this precious, beautiful world with all these problems, and we will be gone. And what is that child going to do that's now 35 years old, that has no direction? And you know what? On top of that, if they can't work, they won't even have Social Security benefits. They will be homeless. So raise your child with an iron rod. Make them work for what they get. Make them earn it. Make them do their homework. Don't do their homework for them. Stop harassing the teachers. Commend the teachers for teaching our kids and not getting paid for it. How about that? And making your children more accountable. And I'm only speaking from, I almost slipped up. I got a 12-year-old and I got to do a better job of that. I was on sabbatical because I was really hard on my older three. And they're productive. And that's why I feel qualified to be on here tonight talking to you about children and the way to get them off track and the way to keep them on track to the extent where they can take care of themselves and their families when you're no longer here. Because just think, you're taking on all these burdens today as a young mother or young father, and then one day you're gone, and what is that poor little child going to do at that point? That 30-year-old, and you're no longer on this earth. Who's going to take over taking care of them? So just wanted to put that out there. I miss you guys. I wasn't around last week. I had some family issues going on, but everything's good now. Please share this to anyone you know that have children and they need some discipline, because we don't want our children homeless. Alrighty? And all the ladies out there, remember, I am still a rose. Say to yourself when things are down, when you're not feeling good, when you've been hurt, when you've been betrayed, whatever the case, remember you are still a rose. You're a beautiful flower. I'll see you next time, next Thursday, 8 o'clock. Please send me suggestions. Curse me out if you want. I got a big heart and a strong heart. I can manage it. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. My goal is to help others help themselves because I've helped myself and others have helped me. So I'm here to do the same, give it back, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you. Good night.